The great thing about this trick is that you can actually use it for almost any situation. Hello and welcome to Not Your Forever Job, the show that helps you get clear and confident in your career so you can progress and create the career that you truly want. I'm Hayley Loren, a career coach and award-winning engineer and science presenter. And today we are talking about how to know what you want. And I've got a quick trick for you. So for this episode, I have actually put on my power jacket. Yes, I have a power jacket. It's bright blue and it's got these like amazing gold buttons on the sleeves, and this was actually my nan's jacket back when I think she was in her 30s or something, so it's really old. I kind of like the whole look that you can just put on a simple t-shirt and a simple pair of jeans and put on this like jazzy jacket and then you're good to go. So that is why I'm wearing this, because we're talking about what you want. So I figured that we need a bit of power coming through and the energy coming through to you today about what is it that you want. So it might be right now that you are on a path that you don't think is particularly bad, but you'd like more certainty within yourself to actually know what you want at work and in your career as a whole. Or you might fear going down the wrong path or ending up in like 10 years time in a job that you don't even like. If you're in this situation or feeling anything like this, then this episode is for you, because I've got a simple trick to help you actually identify what it is that you want. Okay, so here is the thing about figuring out what you want. It is a little bit like detective work. And for those of us that have a lot of interests, or you weren't born knowing exactly the one thing that you want to do, then figuring out your path can actually be a little bit difficult. And I was very much one of those average people at school. You know, teachers didn't really pay attention to me. In fact, they said that I was going to get all D's at school. And I got all A's in the end. So that's how highly they thought of me. And you know, I actually really liked art and I also liked sciences. I didn't love one or the other. And I always felt, and still feel really, that kids are kind of meant to like one or the other, or they're meant to be good at one or the other. And I love now that there's this kind of move towards this blend between sciences and arts, but it definitely wasn't the case for me. So there was never a clear-cut, obvious route. And I think this is the case for actually a lot of people. You might have a lot of passions, and that is amazing. We can celebrate that. So to help you figure out what it is that you actually want, then I have a quick trick for you. Now, this might sound simple, but it is extremely powerful. And this is to start with what you don't want. So you may be unclear on what you want, but I bet you actually know what you don't want. And for this, all you need to do is make a list of everything that you don't want in your career, or everything that you don't like in your career or job. So whose job don't you want at work? Which activities in your job do you wish that you didn't have to do? What type of work don't you want? For example, you might not want to constantly have to sit at your desk, or maybe you don't want to be client facing. Write down as much as you can about what it is that you don't want. This simple activity has the power to shed light on exactly what you do want. The clearer and actually more specific that you can be about what you don't want, the more you will start to identify what you do want. And you can use this trick to actually filter through all of that clutter that might be going on in your mind. So I want to give you an example, okay, or a couple of examples. So let's say you're in a job that you feel like something's missing. Start by making a list of everything about the job that you don't like, including things about the people, the location, the type of work, and give as much detail as possible. Once you've got this, read through it. And I want you to think and answer this question. Are there any noticeable problems or issues? Is there anything surprising. This list will then help you to actually uncover some of the truths about your situation at work. And if you want to take this step to a whole different level, then you can go and get your free Career Clarity Starter Guide, which is on my website. And this is going to take this step to a whole different level in terms of figuring out where you're at with work and what you do and what you don't like. So just go to www.hayleyloren.com/coaching to get that. And it's just this free, quick and easy downloadable PDF guide. Okay, so I'm going to give you another example, which is basically if you're deciding between two different jobs or a couple of different potential career paths. So it can be difficult when you're thinking, oh, do I want to, be technical, or do I want to be a project manager, or what do I want to go actually completely change and go into finance or something? All of this can be really, really difficult. So the first step is to make a list of everything that you don't want from your career, then read through it. And when you're reading through it, I want you to think about, is there anything on this list that you would need to do in any of the jobs or career paths that you're actually looking at? Because let's say on your list, you've got a dog or something, and you're like, I don't want to have to leave Bertie at home by himself for long periods of time. If that's the case, then it might be that any job that requires you to do a lot of traveling isn't right for you. But starting with what you don't want then brings you clarity about what it is that you do want. Now, obviously, just going to put it out there, okay, all jobs will involve a percentage of things that you actually don't want to do. That's why you get paid. It's part of it. But you wouldn't want to take a job or a career path that has basically like 50% of everything as stuff that you don't like, or even more. If you're at 80%, then I think that maybe a change needs to happen and you need to think about where you are. So it's really about getting that balance and thinking about, okay, well, what are you willing to sacrifice and what is it that you don't want? And the great thing about this trick is that you can actually use it for almost any situation, even when you're deciding a takeaway. If you think about it, you do actually use this trick. And this is what I do. I'm like, what do I want for takeaway? Well, I don't want pizza and I don't want Italian because I tried that and I didn't like that last time. So I guess it's between Thai or Lebanese, but I don't want to spend that much money and the Thai is pretty expensive. So I guess it's Lebanese. Like, this is literally what I do whenever I decide a takeaway, because it's very rare that I just crave something or I know exactly what I want. So understanding what you don't want is what will help you to slowly filter through the confusion and identify some really important factors for you. And to help you stay accountable, I want you to send me a tweet or an Instagram message right now, okay, literally right this second, and tell me one thing that you don't want in your career, okay? So one thing that you don't want in your career. And you can send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and my handle is @thehayleyloren. And if you need more help, then I'd recommend listening to episode 3, which is how to decide your career direction, and episode 7, is it time for a job change? And if you're watching on YouTube, then just head over to my website because both of those episodes are on there. And you can also sign up to my weekly career boost, which is a weekly email of positive vibes and career support from me. And you can also get my free downloadable career starter guide, which will help you figure out your path in your direction. And you can get all of that by just heading to my website, which is www.hayleyloren.com/coaching. And I'll also put the links in the description below as well. That is it from me today. I will speak to you next week.